Elvet Voice TV, amplifying voices, inspiring the world. I want to welcome each and everyone at this show, the youth program show. You're welcome. Always follow us. You go to our YouTube channel, subscribe. Those who haven't subscribed, follow us on TikTok, WhatsApp. Make sure you go there, you subscribe, you like, and you'll be able to get our updates each and every day. We have different programs, but I normally take a youth program, which is the straight youth program. So just go there, you subscribe, and you'll be able to get each and everything in details. And today we shall be discussing at a topic which is the impact of social media on mental health and relationship. And with me here in the studio, I have a guest. He can introduce herself to you.
Wow, thank you so much, the moderator. My name is Edith Chepkwemoi, a student at Ainembabazi University. I'm in my third year, final semester, pursuing a bachelor's degree in arts with education, and I was serving as a GRC in the 20th government, and I served as a 20th female representative to the University Council. It's a pleasure to be here tonight in Elevate Voice TV. Thank you.
You're welcome, Madam Edith, the 20th Guild Female Representative, Guild Council of Ainembabazi University, and I'm so happy and humbled to host you today, as we shall be talking the impact of social media on mental health and relationship. So today particularly, we want to see how different social media platforms, as we have Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp, we have YouTube, Instagram, and very many other social media platforms. We want to see how have they affected the relationship and mental health. So we shall go. We try to discuss more about this. As you know, the social media is under the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, which is led by the Minister Honorable Chris Badiomonsi. We shall be able to discover and get more idea and knowledge about this through this discussion and presentation. So, as to say, countrywide, the leading social media platform, it is Facebook, it is followed by WhatsApp, it is then followed by TikTok, then it is followed by Instagram, then lastly it is YouTube. That is the ranking of different social media platforms here in Uganda. But then globally, when I'm to talk worldwide, this is how they are leading one another, from the top most social media platform to the last one. But shortly I'll be talking only about 5 leading social media platforms. Worldwide, the leading social media platform still it is Facebook, that is the leading one. Then it is followed by YouTube. It is WhatsApp. From YouTube, you go to WhatsApp. Then from WhatsApp, you go to Instagram. Then from Instagram, you go to TikTok. And by seeing that here in Uganda, the significant leading social media platform, though we have seen Facebook taking the first position, but then WhatsApp is the dominant one. So we want to see how these different social media platforms have affected the mental health and relationship. So Madam Edith, you can talk about this. How have they affected mental health particularly? Let's first start with the mental health part. How has these different social media platforms affected the mental health of the people countrywide? Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, moderator. When you talk about, I love the topic first, impacts of social media on mental health and relationships among the young people. Because when you look at currently, in the 21st century, you realize that we, the young people, have the leading population. And we are the majority people using social media. Because you find out that our parents even don't have smartphones, but we have. Why? The reason is because probably we are students, and we have the advantage of always at least lying to our parents that it's a must as a university student. It is a requirement for one to have a smartphone. So that's why you realize that according to the statistics, it's mostly the young people who are dominant in social media platforms. So straight away, let me talk about mental health. I would just divide maybe mental health. Mental health is simply well-being of an individual. It's specifically in the mind. Begins from the mind, because if the mind is stable, everything is okay. Generally in the human body and the mind. So now, when you say that the impact of social media on mental health, I would say it has done its both positive and it has also negative impacts. Why? Because currently social media does a lot of things in our lives, mentally specifically. That is what I'm talking about. Because one, when you look at social media, sometimes you realize that there are times that you really feel like you're so bored, you're mentally not okay. But there is this kind of thing that if you are able to do it, it distracts your minds and you feel like you're relieved. Probably you watch a movie, probably you watch TikTok videos, even just listening to music. Sometimes it stabilizes your mind. Because when you ask someone, what are some of your hobbies? Someone tells you, my hobby is, I like watching, I like listening to music. And if they do that, it helps them, it relieves their minds. Probably someone had a very hectic day, someone had a very busy day, probably at work, someone stressed you up, and the best thing you can do to yourself is probably just come and play some cool music. And that is social media. So at the end of the day, your mind is relaxed and you feel like, yeah, I think I'm okay. That is one of the things that I would say that social media contributes. Because first of all, as the young people, we go through a lot. People would say, young people, you're very okay, you're very comfortable in where you are. That's a lie. Even campuses themselves, they go through a lot. But at the end of the day, there is only that one thing that if someone is able to do, however much they are stressed, they'll be fine. So social media helps us to stabilize our minds, to calm us down, even at our lowest. Even when there is no food, you can even go on TikTok and you're satisfied, because probably sometimes, campus things, parents cannot be in position to really give you money at all times.
Yeah.
And you realize there are some students who want to be in a campus from morning to evening catching Wi-Fi. You may think they want to do it, but no, they don't have food at home. So the best thing to do is probably to keep themselves busy, occupied in social media, and their minds are what? Stabilized.
They are just stable. They have that peace of mind.
Exactly, that peace of mind, because you're not thinking about food, you're not thinking about anything else, you're not even thinking about that you don't have money. But the fact that you have internet with you, your problems are gone.
Actually, when you talk of having internet, phones, and everything, it has saved most of us. Even when I was still at campus, I remember every time you could find me, I'm at campus tapping Wi-Fi, even if I don't have what to eat at home, but I have my Wi-Fi, I'm okay with it. I be there, I try to search everything. I go to YouTube, I go to Twitter, I go to Facebook, and I try so hard, and I get every information I want. So by when we talk of social media and we bring this kind of phone gadgets at campus, some people have laptops, and it has really saved us from having stress. And if at all it wasn't like that, to find people have their own phones, you would have found many people there in the hostels unga they are dead.
No, we would be having very many prostitutes. So the fact that we have Wi-Fi at campus,
Yes.
the numbers of prostitutes are not very many.
They-
They are few.
Yeah,
And even if they do it, they don't expose themselves a lot.
I know.
Yeah, because at least something is keeping you busy. You're engaged. Your mind is... By the way, one thing that social media does, it keeps your mind occupied. And because, you know, when you're in campus, I believe most times, because at campus, you're with people.
Yeah.
So the content someone will be consuming, I would like to assume that it's more positive.
To have phone gadgets and all those different social media gadgets.
Yeah.
Oh.
The content someone will be consuming in campus is more positive because they are in an open environment. So at the end of the day, even your mind, you learn something, because at the end of the day, we believe that learning is something that is very important. And every information that we get in media, at least there has to be some piece of lesson that someone gets in there. Or you are exposed to something that you had no idea about.
Thank you so much, Madam Edith. Apart from social media taking away our stresses and making us so busy, which other positive effects do social media platforms have, more especially on the students? Yeah.
Now, on students,
Yes.
I would like to begin like this. One, social capital. You know, in most cases, you realize that where we have met so many friends is through social media.
Yes.
And you meet people that you do not know. Yeah, probably they have met you somewhere. Probably you've known each other somewhere, but you've not met one-on-one. And the best way for someone to meet you is through social media. And then, yes, probably Facebook. I don't know. I don't use Facebook, but probably Facebook. Because those days we started using Facebook. I started using Facebook at an age, and then at some level I stopped using Facebook. So currently I use WhatsApp and Twitter and Telegram. Those are the spaces that I use. But then my point of interest is that contact with the people. You meet me, we have not met, but where can we meet? How can you meet me? You need some information from me, you need something from me. The best way you can meet me is probably through a phone, through WhatsApp. Maybe we have very many WhatsApp platforms right now.
Yeah.
You need someone, just tap on WhatsApp group and look for their contact and you're able to meet them. So at the end of the day, you're widening, you're broadening your social capital. And as the young people, the more your social, they say that the more your social capital is, the more your income is. Because that's how the world works right now. We need to socialize as the young people. We need to make friends. We need to expand on our friendship basis. It is very important. Not only that, even research. We have research in campus. There are those who do specifically research. We also have courseworks. We have very many activities that we're supposed to do. Because, yeah, besides the fact that a smartphone is basically probably sometimes the people look at it as something that should just entertain you. No, it's far beyond that. Now, if it comes to classwork, yes, we get serious. We get serious and we mean business.
Yes.
Because if I'm given a coursework, man, I can't sacrifice my coursework because of TikTok.
No?
So definitely research, it helps us for research basis.
Actually, it is very true. Research basis. You need to go on different social media platforms. You see, you get the theoretical knowledge from other people who had ever made research about any topic you want to search about. Maybe you, so that you can get the literature reviews. You get each and every content you want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Madam Edith, as you know of recently, the Ministry of Education and Sports has implemented this policy. It is called a digital agenda policy, to allow learners go to classrooms with their phones. How has it affected the students mentally? Should I think most of them are using these gadgets in appropriate way, or how do you think they are using those different gadgets?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Yes.
You know, in a school environment, we have different kinds of learners. There are those, because when we are leaving home, our parents are always very strict, more especially to the young ones. They'll be like, I'm giving you this phone, but make sure you use it in the right way.
Yeah.
That is what your parent says. Then the fact that the school, they are still in that zone that I would say they are still in a zone that they still depend on parents in everything. So even to their way of thinking, they still need that kind of guidance from the parents. And probably now the fact that they're going to school, they need more guidance from their teachers. So if the teachers are not able to give them the right information on how to use these phones, they will definitely misuse it for other things.
Do you think it is a right way to allow students to always come at classes, or when they are reporting or to normally come with their personal gadgets, or the schools are the supposed who are the ones who are supposed to be providing those social media gadgets to the learners? Do you think it is okay to allow a student come from home that person is carrying her own gadget, the personal gadgets, more specifically the phones? Do you think it is right?
Now, I think it is the system should they should introduce, if they are putting in place phones, like learners are supposed to come in with phones, they should come up with one idea which kind of phones are learners supposed to come with, so that we do not leave others behind, so that learners don't compete. We don't want to see to be in a position where someone comes with an iPhone, the other one comes with the Itel, the other one comes with Techno, and different kinds of phones. So at the end of the day, the others will start bragging, you know, for us we have money, we can afford any kind of phone. But if a school is able to come up with one kind of a gadget, if it is a phone, and they agree to a certain kind of a phone which can be afforded by all parents, because when we are putting across the things, we should be in position to favor all kinds of parents, knowing that learners come from what different backgrounds. So if we are saying a techno can go at 300k. So at the end of the day, when you look at it, you realize that you'll be favoring all kinds of parents. But when you talk about an iPhone, man, which goes beyond 1M, where do you leave a parent who cannot afford that kind of a phone? So my point of interest is, much as phones are good, much as phones should be put in place, but at least we should be in position to have at least come up with one understanding.
Yeah, actually, I think it can be better when the school agrees that we are coming with a techno. Make sure every
learner comes with a techno phone. Period.
So which means those people who normally come with iPhone,
no,
are they supposed to be chased back so that they go back and get those techno phones?
The parent takes back the phone. It should be a rule.
Oh, okay, assume there is some parent who can't even afford to buy a phone to her child or to his child, and that person is just going to school with no phone. How can the school help that child?
That's why I was saying earlier that the government should be so fair to the extent that even when they are choosing these kinds of gadgets, they should look at it from all ends. Then, if possible, if the government can come up, if it is something that is really that they need to implement it, they can identify those schools. Because if a parent can afford to bring a child to a school in the city schools,
Yeah,
they cannot fail to buy a phone.
but there is this kind where you find someone wants to give her child this good education from big schools which are in the city towns, and you find that parent is from a poor background, maybe, let me assume, village, any village of which I don't want to mention because we come from different villages, and that person, yeah, your parent can afford to pay that school fees for the daughter, but can't afford to pay that, like to provide a phone to the daughter.
My friend, if you can afford to pay more than 1 million for a school fees, trust me, you can afford to get a phone for 300,000.
But more so, I think the government, as you said, it should look into this and make sure, according to me, I think it should provide some gadgets to those students who can't afford.
Now, if you talk about provision of these gadgets to students who cannot afford to buy them, I think if the government really comes up with that idea, then we should look back at the villages in those districts. We have very many government secondary schools in the village, very many. But look at the performance. What is the problem? Isn't it the same papers they do? It is the same information, the same content, but probably we don't know what the problem is. So even if the government is saying they are introducing these gadgets on government institutes or wherever, high schools, it is a must. My friend, there are parents in the village who cannot afford to pay 100,000 school fees.
Even there are some people who can't afford to raise 50.
Even 50,000. There are still those government schools which are paying 50,000 for food. Now those ones, they just pay food alone. They tell the parent, just bring your child, only you're paying food. But unfortunately, the parent cannot even do that. I was doing some campaign, pads campaign in my region. But surprisingly, the school is still paying about 65,000. And when I was trying to carry out some survey, I felt so bad because you realize that when the kids are still in senior 1, the numbers are high. When they go to senior 2, it keeps on decreasing.
Yeah.
Senior 3, it decreases. Senior 4, now it is worst. Now I was asking the headmistress, what is the problem? The headmistress was like, the parents say we cannot afford to pay the school fees. How much is the school fees? 60,000.
Very little money.
60,000. They cannot afford.
So, as you have said, they cannot afford even that 60,000 to pay for the child as a school fees. What advice, like how do you advise the government to make sure they also cater for those people who are in village schools and they can't afford to buy up those phone gadgets to be used as in classes when they are learning? How do you advise the government?
That's why I was saying that if the government wants to come in to aid this program, we should look up to those schools that are disadvantaged.
Oh. Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Edith. Another part, as we said, a new curriculum has just developed a new policy, a digital agenda policy, to make sure they allow learners use phones as they are learning. Don't you think when these kids are allowed to use their phones as they are in classrooms, don't you think they can be attempted to use phones in a negative way? You find someone is TikToking, someone is making videos which are not in line with academic.
Yeah, it's very possible. Yeah, the chances are very high. I wouldn't say that even us here, we are sometimes you're in lecture room, but you can't get away from your phone. You really want to check your WhatsApp, you want to check TikTok and all that. So, but then it's a good thing to have phones in schools. I would say it is good, because where we are reaching, we really need to be informed in the status of the world. That information, the current status, you realize, you see, when you look at right now, there are very many terrorists. It may not be in Uganda, but it's good to have that information on what is happening in different countries in the world. So now, when we talk about some of the impacts, probably the negative impacts of maybe probably learners having these kinds of gadgets in schools, yeah, they can be distracted. Yeah, that's true. Distraction is one of them, because they are not able to concentrate, because the fact that they have data in their phone, the fact that they're already exposed. Now, if the school rules are very strict, they say the only time you're given this phone is during class time, strictly. What do you think? Don't you think learners will want to utilize that opportunity very well? You see, when you look at when I was growing up, when I was still young, I was growing up with friends, and the friends that I had, some of them used to say, my parents are very strict. They don't want me to get out of home. They want me to just be around home. Now, what do you think of that kind of a child? And it's very common with girl child. So every little opportunity they get, they want to make sure that they utilize it. The moment their parents probably sneak out, probably they're going town to get some stuff, they also want to what? Shoot something.
Yeah.
Because of the environment. So even the same applies here. The rules are strict. The learners only get time to use those phones during lesson time. So there are higher chances of distraction, because it's the only time they can engage with their friends, be on TikTok, do a number of things that they are supposed to do. So at the end of the day, they are not paying maximum attention that they are supposed to, which is not good.
Yeah, it's also kind of negative to them.
Definitely it is.
When we go away from a learner's side, now let's come back to these people which are not learners. What effects, more especially when we talk of negative effects, let me be specific and I be on a negative side. What effects have they brought to us, to the people?
To generally, to the people out there.
Yeah.
Now, social media is good. I personally enjoy it, but sometimes it isn't all that. If it is not, I would use if it is not managed very well, if people don't pay attention to social media, if you do not program yourself, yeah, let me use that. If people don't program themselves, social media can be very destructive, because most times we spend much of our time in social media doing a number of things, but at the end of the day, you realize that you're losing out. Yeah, let's first even talk about people don't have enough sleep, by the way. Someone can watch for the whole night, and then the next day they're awake. You're starting a new day, but you worked the entire night really, and you want to be mentally okay, yet sleep is very important. But because of the kind of things that we are so much overtaken by, you can't give yourself enough sleep. Then there is also, you realize that we have so much relied on social media, by the way. So even we do not think, our thinking capacity is reducing because we are over relying on AI.
Meta AI.
AI, everything. You're given, there is even something very simple, very small, that you just have to think. You have to think, be creative, and come up with some idea. But every time you want to do this AI, you want to do this AI, because we can't think. We've been captured in that caliber whereby we think that social media can give us everything. So to some extent, it is really not good. We also should start doing things a certain way. We need to think, because we are losing it out if we rely on social media in as much as our activities are concerned that we do every day. We lose it out. Then there is also, people, it has brought a lot of things. People want to compare themselves. You want to compete with someone. You need also an iPhone. You also need this. You even know you cannot have it. You want to have it. You end up pushing your parents. Dad, man, come on.
Wake
up.
When actually you're lying.
You're lying. Dad. No, they even tell their parents they need a specific phone. They even know the parent cannot afford. They need a specific, Dad, I need Samsung S what?
And when you find your parents can't afford to buy for you a specific phone you want, at least you can lie. I've always met my friends, they be like, for me, if I want this, I have to make sure I lie my parents. I tell them we need this money for this, but they make sure they get that phone.
No, yeah, and by the way, that is, yeah, it's happening that way. But then there are other ways that people have resolved too. You realize that if your parent cannot give you a certain kind of phone that you need, yes, I need this, my friend asks, so I also want it. You're competing with the people. Now, your parent cannot afford. What do you resolve to? You realize some people start going for probably what other ways, I don't know, but it isn't the best way to do it. So I would advise the young people that it's quite very important to be contented.
They should be contented with
and appreciate what you have, what your parent can give you, and if you can work hard. If your dream is to probably get this kind of a gadget, phone or what, then work for it, earn it. Because something that you earn out of your own sweat, there is a way you pressure it. There is a way it comes with the joy, because it is real. I love real, by the way, that's me. I love real. I love reality. I love the truth. It's where the whole thing begins from. So we shouldn't be diverted. Social media should not divert you from being who you are supposed to be. Be you in all circumstances. And all the things will find their way. Even social media will find their level.
If I'm to take you a little bit back, you talked of this point, we can't think by ourselves.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I've got this issue now and then.
Okay.
You find someone who was so bright in class, but then maybe a person is trying to write an application late. But that person wants to first go back to AI chat and ask it, how do I do this? And indeed, it has really let us down. We can't think the way we are supposed to be thinking. You find you want maybe a definition of maybe a map. the definition we started in primary 1, okay, let me just say primary 5, but you want to go back and you first ask AI. So I think if I'm to bring this, it has really made us so lazy to think the way we should be thinking. Thank you so much, Madam Edith. I think now we are going to have a short break for like 5 minutes. When we come back, we shall be talking the social media platforms and relationships. I think most of you, you're eager to hear this conversation about relationship with social media. Just be expectant. We are just to share more from here. Thank you. You're welcome back from a short break. And as before, we are talking about the impact of social media on mental health and relationship. Before, the other time when we went for a short break, I was saying we shall start on the impact of social media on relationship. We see different social media platforms. People normally make friendships. They get new friends. They try to connect each and there. So now we want to see how have people come to make a different relationship, both online relationships, romantic relationships. So Madam Edith, how do you think these social media platforms have helped us to build different kinds of relationships?
Wow, thank you so much. It's yet another section. I would say that social media has both positive and negative impacts in as far as relationship is concerned. Why do I say that? We have people from different regions. So relationship is something very interesting. And we're talking about relationship and intimacy, intimate relationship. Probably dating,
Yeah, dating.
kind of stuff.
Many people get to know each other from social media
Yeah.
platforms. Yeah.
There are many people who date from Facebook, and they end up marrying.
YouTube, you see someone
Yes,
and you
you-
admire that
yeah.
person and you be like, oh, I need to go on and at least I upload that person so that we can start on a relationship.
Yeah,
together.
there are many people. There are cool guys there.
Yeah.
There are people in social media. Yeah, I wouldn't say relationship in social media is not bad. So there are people, you realize that most of the population, most of the young people engage in their relationship is basically on social media, because you realize that we do not stay in the same place. Probably, maybe, let's say, for instance, right now I'm in school and I'm dating a guy who is in my village. I can't travel to the village going to see my guy. So the best way we can do is communicate. So you realize that social media is the what? Communication. Because if it wasn't really, if social media was not there, sincerely, how would we be doing? And people tell us that it used to be more romantic those days when they used to write letters,
But these days it is more romantic when people when they don't write these letters, lovely letters, when they just meet in person and they talk one another.
I feel like we are missing out something, because those people, how people will put in effort. That effort.
And they make sure they give
That
those
energy.
lovely.
They make sure that they spice the letter. They make sure they write it very well. In fact, even most people learned how to write good handwriting those days. Now for us, we don't write letters, so handwriting is not
we are missing
bad.
a lot.
We are missing, because the things were sweet, man. Because someone would make sure that they deliver your letter to your home. Now these days, communication on it's not bad. It's not bad. But then it is good. Because why? Because
you're dating someone, you're in school, they are far, they are working somewhere very far. Let's say you're in Kampala, someone is in Kasese, someone is in Gulu, someone is in Kapchorwa, someone is abroad, whatever they are. So the fact that we have social media, at least you're able to have even a video call. You can know what your partner is doing. Yeah, even if you cannot be enough protective.
I know. Like actually, you might not be all that protective, but at least when you have a video call with your partner, with your lovely one, and there is a way how it makes a love more sweet and sweet.
You can even decide to do it for the whole night for security purposes.
I know. Which social media platform do you normally use when you're talking with your loved one?
Me, if it comes to relationship basis, I prefer calls. That's me. Because why? I believe that when you want to connect with someone, I believe in communication. The more you speak, the more you talk with someone, the more you interact with them, the more you know them. But chatting with the people, I do a lot of chatting sometimes, but I'm not a WhatsApp fan. Most of my friends know that I am not a WhatsApp person, but once in a while I check out a few. But my guy, if my boyfriend, we really want to have a serious communication, it's phone.
You use a phone call.
I use a phone call.
Assume you called your boyfriend and somewhere he was kind of busy and he didn't receive your call, and you find maybe a message on WhatsApp. Would you call him back?
Yeah, I will.
You will call back?
Yeah.
Because recently and in this generation, we normally see that ladies want to be called back. For them, they don't want to call their loved ones and they check on them. So if you find you called your loved one and he didn't pick?
No, I in my own perspective, if it comes to relationship things, I believe that we handle relationships in different ways. The way I do mine can be way different from the way you handle yours. So me as a person, if I talk from my own perspective, the fact that I missed your call, and probably we are dating, it depends on the level we have reached. If you've gained my trust, you qualify, I'll give you a call back. If you text me, but the fact that I called and you didn't pick, and you text me, it doesn't make sense. You got my missed call, and you texting, you should call.
Why didn't he call? He has to
call. It doesn't make sense. Or unless if he says, babe, I don't have minutes.
So how would you feel when he just texts you back and he doesn't call you? How would you feel, you personally?
Now, issues of relationship with me, I don't take it so personal. So if I feel like someone is not really giving in what I need, it's not worthy. You know, the problem we have right now is sometimes we act like we are desperate for men. Like you're desperate for a relationship. Like you feel like if you lose this man, you're not getting another man. That is where, and it's all because of these social media things. Now, you have friends, probably they have someone as boyfriends. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. But, you know, we are different.
I know.
You are you and I am me. You can't be me. And either I can't be you. So we ought to do things in a different way. And if you don't have a boyfriend and your friend has a boyfriend, it doesn't mean that you will not get one. Or if you don't have a girlfriend, your girlfriend checked you, and you feel like, you know, it's very common with boys. Sometimes their boys, if they have issues with their girlfriends, if they are heartbroken, if they break up with the girl, it's very common with them. Most of them go in, and some of them even are depressed. It's very common with them. Depression is very easy with them. They can easily be stressed and they can easily be depressed, and some of them even can start drinking recklessly.
Yeah.
Because I believe that it's not easy for a man to fall in love.
Fall in love?
Yeah. By the time a man falls in love and really says that he loves you,
It means he has seen you for a good time.
he loves you. But if he wants to just use you, he will also just use you and leaves you there.
So how do you know that this person is seriously in a relationship with me, or he wants to just use me and goes away?
That one, I'm not a psychologist.
But you have told me you have a boyfriend. So when you consider the time so far you have been together, you should be knowing this. When someone is just praying you over your mind, or someone is seriously in a relationship with you, you would have noticed this.
I think I would say that in a relationship, we both play critical roles. Both a lady and a man both play a critical role. Why? Because you have to be consistent, you as a person. And then I should also be consistent, probably be it in communication, be it in whatever those things that we do. I believe that in every relationship needs to be spice.
Yeah.
And
spices.
I believe that if it comes to spicing a relationship, a man plays a bigger role. Because why do I have this point of view? I believe that you are a man. A man, you're the one who wants to marry me. And I am not the one who wants to marry you. You want to marry me. You chose me. So that means if at all you chose me, you should chase me. How? Do things that you're supposed to do. Be a man. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have supposed to go beyond what you're supposed to do. Just do what you can do. Even in those small things that you do, by just you being real to your partner, being you yourself. She will love you the way you are. If she's really interested in you, she will love you for who you are. But these issues of some men pretending, see, you get someone, man, guys are weird.
Even some people these days, they wait for their babies to first call them back.
Shit, come on. Me, I don't do that shit. I don't believe in that, by the way. I hardly call men back. Why? But if it is business, I make a lot of calls for different businesses. But if it is a boyfriend, even if he's going to watch, he knows I don't.
Wow.
Yeah. Unless if it is important. Yeah. If it is important, I will do.
Cool.
But then I believe there are levels in relationship. There are levels. Every relationship has a level. When you are dating someone, the more you get to know them, the more you're closer to them. You get to know their abilities. You get to know their strengths, their weaknesses. Even you get to know when they don't have airtime. Yes, let's say that. You get to know when they don't have data. You get to know when they don't have minutes. You get to know when they cannot do certain things. Because you're so close to this person. Because that's how a relationship is supposed to be. You're supposed to become one. You're supposed to, your communication signs should be equally the same.
Oh, so when we want to relate the social media and relationships, how have they affected the relationships romantically? Like, if you're in a romantic relationship, how has it affected the relationship?
Yeah, I believe it has done some kind of it. Because let's say talk about in relationships in line with social media.
Yeah.
We are in TikTok, and there is a way TikTok puts things makes someone look so pretty, makes a guy look so cute, like this guy you're crushing, But then, okay, that person may not be really your boyfriend. It's someone else, but you watch them and you admire them, and the way they do their things, and probably those relationships are not real. Like for instance, there are people who watch a lot of let me use Nigerian movies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to use series. Let me use Nigerian movies. People who follow Nigerian movies sometimes, and even those series, sometimes you realize that okay, there is a kind of life. It's not real, man. These guys do a lot of crazy things, and of course, as a girl who is ambitious, you also expect your man to do that for you.
You
be like, he loves me. This guy loves me, but he's not doing this for me. I'm missing out on this. This guy buys flowers. He buys gifts. Oh, babe, I'm taking you out. Oh, babe, I'm doing this. But man, your guy doesn't even know how to take you out.
Like you find during weekend they go out for beach.
Yeah, we're
they
hanging
go
out.
to a good places.
Yeah, we're going for a night movie.
We're
going for a night band. We're going for all the guy. But your man,
he's there.
man is just there in his own
and
world.
every time waiting for you to just bring food for him. Even he doesn't give you money to buy.
Not only that, surprisingly, he doesn't even ask, babe, have you eaten?
These men of today, my God.
So now, why do I say that? There is a lot of comparison, and that comparison, as I would say, it has failed very many marriages and even very many relationships, because what happens in social media is not real, but what you are in right now is real. So those are two different worlds. The one in the social media is not real, but you with your guy, that is reality. That is the truth.
True, yeah.
So you can't really expect something from your guy that you can't have. No, but sometimes ladies should behave. I wouldn't fail to say that. Ladies should behave. Sometimes, you want this guy to do for you everything. Now, what will you do as a lady? What can you put on table? Babe, I want to do my hair. I want to do my nails. I want to do oh my God. Yes.
I want new shoes.
I want
a new dress.
I like this. When will you say, babe, I'm doing this? Okay, if it is one or two, be like, oh babe, I got some nice shoe for you. I saw this and I liked it. You see, the relationship feels like we are both concerned. Like it's like we are both trying to spice our relationship. Much as a man can spice more when we are still dating, a man has to do more. He has to put in more effort, because you're chasing me, and I have to make sure that you are capable of taking care of me. But the problem that we have is social media has increased our expectations. Someone puts their expectations very high. You expect this guy. Now, you see, sometimes even, do you even know why most ladies are single? They're still looking for the ones in social media.
When you talk of that, I really agree with you. Because sometimes you can find they were dating together. At first, they never had good money. But at the moment that a lady maybe sees someone on social media posting heavy things, expensive cars, you
nice
feel like
watches.
the more I do what, like when I upload this person, I'll be able to also benefit
You see,
from
now
him.
you see people, you be there now. Of course, they say I'm looking for the right man. The right one is coming.
It is so common these days. You find your man was so innocent when you're still dating at first, but because he's not capable to provide you with each and everything you want, and by the fact you're maybe seeing those good men on social media,
flowers,
gifts,
nice shoes. You see this one, oh my God.
And you might end up find your relationship is in vain.
Yeah, but then I would also like to encourage men to, be a man. be a man, you know. Be a man. Don't be a lady. You can't. You see, there's some weird men. You go and see your girlfriend in the hostel. You go empty-handed. You're going to eat, and I don't even know what's going to happen. But you move comfortably with not even an apple. Just not even an apple is just. Is it 1K?
It's 1K.
Man, style up. Wake up. Be a man.
People out there watching
Spice your relationship. Put something. Put some efforts. Make it look like you really value this relationship.
At least go with a biscuit of what you
Even
can.
if it is like a sweet,
Even if
your
it is a
like
sweet
this
of 100, it is enough. The lady will be so contented.
You see,
Yeah.
it is all about being real to your girlfriend. If she really loves you, you understand each other. Much as social media is there. Social media is just there to spice the relationship, to improve. You know, you go there, you learn a few things, some skills. Yes, right now you don't have, but the little you have, it is enough for you to plan for it. It's all about planning. And sometimes they say it's all about priority. What is very important for you? If your relationship means a lot, my God,
Give it enough time.
if it is time, if it is small resources, even if it is just an ice cream, it's not a lot.
It's not a lot. And actually, for us, we girls, we are just loved when we are given these small things.
Small things, it's
sweets.
even a lot.
We feel so contented with what we have
You know,
got from our men.
And you know what makes it more real is it comes from the person you genuinely love.
Yeah.
There's a way it hits a different way. It
But-
feels different, like, you know, oh my God.
There is this scandal
Mhm.
where you find you're texting together. As
Yeah.
you know, this relationship should be both sides, a man and a lady.
Yeah.
But you find a man is just there. Maybe he sent you a text in the morning saying, "Hi babe, how are you doing?" Then as a lady, I have to also reply, "Hi my darling," like that. But then from there, the man just keeps quiet the entire day. Would you think that one is showing he's serious in a relationship?
Now, I think it is in two ways. One is, how do you know your man? Because I believe by the time you really call someone that, you know, for even for us girls, by the way, we don't just fall in love. We don't just fall in love. So by the time you really have feelings for someone, like you really say that, yes, I'm dating this guy, you must have known them. If it is a weakness, yes, maybe he doesn't like texting, it could be a weakness. Maybe he likes calls you in the morning, "Hey babe, how are you?"
Afternoon.
Not afternoon, man, these things. You see the problem we have, social media still. The problem is, girls, you want your man to call you the whole day. For what purpose? What? We have a lot of things to do. The world is becoming very competitive. If you're able, I don't know how people do their relationship, but me, if you're able to maybe call me in the morning, just in the morning, "Hi babe, how's your night?" Simple. Slept well, we start up a day. Go for the whole day, go for business, go for work. Later, maybe in the night, when we are done with busy schedules, we can have a conversation.
I know.
But it can't be like every
Every night, some
minute.
girls they want to be called
Every
in the
minute.
morning, afternoon,
No
in
girls
the
should
evening.
style up. These men need to work. They need to put food on table. Even you as a lady, you need to work. Do something for yourself. Productive.
We shouldn't be so
You
dependent.
don't need to be a liability. Be a resource. Be an asset. Put in some value. Even that value that you put in. You see, they always say that at least have some value for yourself. Even if someone loses you, they'll feel bad.
I know.
Like, I lost that girl.
Actually, when you talk of this, that we should be an asset. We shouldn't be so dependent on our men or whatever. But as ladies, we should also be able to get something and we put on the table.
Very important.
I have to emphasize this. As you're all seeing me, we need to put something on the table, because I'm 100% sure when you keep depending on your man, at the end of the day, you will find even he's no longer interested in you because of over-depending on you.
You know,
however much he loves you. But when you keep on asking this and that, but when you're at home seated, you don't want to go and work.
Let me chip in slightly.
Yeah, it's okay.
You know, sometimes what piques my interest is,
Yeah.
you see, right now we are looking at women empowerment. Yeah, everywhere we want to empower women. Now, the question is, women, are we empowering ourselves? Empowerment doesn't mean that we are moving out there preaching about empowerment, but we are not seeing results. Empowerment begins from you. Those small things that you cannot do for yourself. Mere airtime you cannot buy for yourself. Mere data you cannot buy for yourself. Mere small things. And you also say, I am empowered. So, how are you empowered? Empowerment begins from you. Empowering yourself in a way that there are things that you can do for yourself. Not necessarily relying on people. Not necessarily. You see, there is this common thing with the girls. They don't buy airtime. Someone can be with 500 shillings for 1 month.
For 1 month.
Just for beeping. And you're also an empowered woman.
You're not.
Really? Now, where does it take us?
And we want to
If we are
everything.
preaching empowerment,
Yeah.
let empowerment begin from us. If you're preaching empowerment, be empowered as an individual. Be able to make those small things. And be a woman. Be a lady.
And
with
I'm
purpose,
sure.
with vision.
And I'm sure when you be able to get these small things, airtime for 500, you buy yourself data, I'm very sure your partner is going to respect you.
Of course, they will.
But when you keep on asking this, man, I don't have the jerry, I don't have...
But I don't have pads.
Even if that person, he loves you, is going to be like, my girlfriend over begs me this, and he goes outside telling the friends, and the only advice they are going to give him is to just check you.
Yeah, but then we are not saying completely that girls shouldn't be able to receive some things from guys. But my major point of interest is, let us be empowered in reality, in practical, not theoretically. You see, what we preach is theory. Let us put it in practice. I've seen women that are empowered. Go out there, take yourself out, treat yourself, go out, use your own earned money. Eat something nice without a man. Every time, babe, when are you taking me out? Can't you take yourself out? Okay, can't you take your man out?
That calls for disrespect.
With even little money, can't you take your man out? That is
Actually, we should also
empowerment.
supply our men.
Yes, it is empowerment.
At least you get one weekend, you'll be like, hi babe,
I
can we
have a
go for
surprise for you.
outing? Can we
You
go
know?
and have swimming?
Yes, the bill will be on me. Simple. What does it cost you? What do you lose?
Even if it is something very cheap,
Even
as
if
long
it is
as-
5K.
for him,
even
he will
if
be
it
so
is 1K.
satisfied. He'll be like, oh, my babe loves me, and you find he's out there so happy for you, you know.
What's very important is, I guess we are concluding. What's very important is being real. You see, most girls enter into relationships and they want to pretend to be who they are not. This one I keep telling people. Be real, be yourself, just be you. That's all. If someone wants to love you, let them love you for who you are. If you don't have money, if you don't have this, if you have this, if you don't have whatever, just be yourself. That is what I would always tell my girls and encourage them, fellow ladies out there. Be yourself and don't give up on yourself. Empowerment begins from us women. Men will never empower us, but we can empower ourselves. So let us empower ourselves, but let it begin from you as an individual. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Edith. I think it has been a good idea to share all this information. My girls, hope you're so empowered. She's a 20th Guild representative of Chambogo University. Hope this should stop from here. Being there and you want to become dependent on your boyfriend, it should stop here. Go out there, do what you can, and maintain that respect. Don't be disrespected. As we are ending this program, Madam Edith, in 2 or 3 words, you can give your concluding words. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I believe that we have had a number of things that we have talked about, and I would like to conclude in this manner. 1, let men be men. Then 2, let women be women. And finally, be yourself, be real, be where you're accepted, be where you're valued, be where you're respected, and be where you're treasured. It means a lot. Your happiness begins from what you choose. So what you choose determines the kind of happiness that you'll be given. So let's choose wisely. And of course, let's love one another. Amidst all the challenges, all the kinds of people that we meet, let peace prevail, let love reign in all our endeavors. Thank you so much. It was really nice being here. A blessed evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Edith. It was so nice to have you as my guest of today's program, and I'm so sure we have learned a lot how we should handle our relationships, how we should use different social media platforms. I wish I have you next time. Always come and have share with us different ideas, give us knowledge, how we should have to go about different things. I'm really so happy. Thank you so much. And as I'm also concluding, I want to give this advice, my ladies out there. Make sure you struggle so hard. Don't rely on your men. Don't make sure you do what you can and get yourself what you can afford. Make sure you go out, you do these jobs, get money for the data. Get money for data, get money for airtime. Don't rely on your partner. It was so glad to have you in today's program, which was the impact of social media on mental health and relationship. And I hope to see you next Saturday. Hope you have learned a lot from it. This is Elvet Voice TV, amplifying voices, inspiring the world. See you. Thank you.